Hi and welcome to the 5 ways to build great estate agent relationships and source more property deals. Now, if you want to make money from property sourcing, then one of the most important elements that you're going to need to master is how to work well with estate agents. Now, estate agents are going to play a critical part in the sourcing of property, especially whilst you're at the beginning of your journey. One of the best reasons to use estate agents is, of course, that all of their properties are advertised on sites such as Rightmove and Zoopla, and that's going to enable you to be able to search for the property types in the areas that you're looking for without really doing that much legwork. All you'll need to do is sit on the sofa and browse the portals at your leisure. Now, what I mean by working with agents doesn't mean that they're just going to suddenly think of you when a property comes onto their books that's suitable for investors. Not until you've at least built up a bit of a relationship with them, and that's what we're going to do in this short video. Now, I've spent nearly 12 years in property agency, working in estate agency, lettings management, so I can tell you now that agents are not going to pick up the phone and phone you as a complete newcomer on the basis that you've only just walked into their office, told them that you're investing, and they're just going to deliver those properties to you. That is not going to happen. So what you're going to have to do is put in some serious groundwork first. So based on my years of working in the industry, I can tell you from an agent's point of view, so I'm going to give you a real insider's point of view on how to build relationships. And over the coming points, what we're going to do is go through a few top tips in order to make you the first person that they think of when a property investment opportunity arises. So one of the first things that you're going to have to do is bear in mind you're going to have to put in the time. Now, what I mean by put in the time is it's not going to be a quick fix. You're not just going to walk into a couple of estate agents and suddenly be their busy friends and get loads of leads pumped to you on a daily basis. You are going to have to build that relationship up. You're going to have to build the trust. You're going to have to build the familiarity so that they know you, they know what you're doing. And of course, we all know that these relationships are going to take time. But in the long run, it is very much going to be worth your while. But what this does do is it brings me on to the second step, which is actually focus on just one or two agents in your local area. Now, the reason I say this, it is practically impossible to form strong bonds with every single agent in your local area. If you're searching in major towns and cities, there are going to be literally hundreds of estate agents and letting agents to go and visit. So that is not not practical. The other reason I'll come on to very shortly, which is an interesting one and certainly one that you're going to have to factor in when you're working direct to seller. But for the ones at the beginning, what you want to be doing is you want to be popping in and meeting them face to face. So don't just phone in, meet them face to face. Book viewings and go and meet the negotiators that are doing the viewings. But you really want to get face to face and gauge how receptive they are when you want to discuss what you're doing, how you work, what types of properties you're looking for. Can they think of anything else that they're currently advertising that might be suitable for your criteria? And what you're doing is you're just working out to see just how proactive they are, just how helpful they are, because the good ones are the ones that you're going to want to build a relationship with. Now, the other reason, of course, for concentrating on just one or two is because when you start moving into direct to seller marketing, so when you start cutting agents out, obviously, if you've built up relationships with every agent in the local area, you're going to upset them by contacting their clients directly. So by building up a relationship with one or two, that means that you're not going to contact their clients directly, but what you are going to do is all the other ones that you haven't built a relationship with, there's no loyalty there, so what you are going to do is go direct to seller, cut the agent out and get more direct to vendor deals, and of course that's going to get you a much better return when it comes to agreeing offers and really getting help in securing more deals. But back to agents, we won't go into direct to seller too much at the moment. So the third step is going to be buy gifts. Now, I don't mean bribes. What I do mean here is we want to be thinking of things such as boxes of chocolates. Quite often agents get stuff at Christmas, things like the boxes of chocolates, bottles of beer, bottles of wine, champagne, etc. But what most investors don't do is do this consistently throughout the year. So what you want to be thinking, like I say, boxes of chocolates, maybe taking their favorite coffees. What I often do with the agents that we work with is I used to, their office was right next door to a Costa Coffee. So what I used to do is just go in and order a load of Costa Coffees and take those in. For the cost of maybe £20, £25, the fact is you will be remembered. These small gestures will pay off, but you need to do them consistently. If you don't do them consistently, you'll do it a one-off, they forget, and then you're just back to square one. So the best way to do it on a consistency basis is to do it once a month. Same time each month. This is just for the gifts. So same time each month. And what will happen is you're building in what's called a behavior, a routine. And by doing this, they will then come to expect you at that time of the month. And of course, by expecting you, they'll have stuff ready for you. By having stuff ready for you, it'll be deals. Deals will come through, and you'll start getting fed information that's going to be incredibly valuable for moving forward. So, step 3, buy gifts. Now, step 4, obviously the gifts are on a monthly basis, but step 4 is a weekly phone call. Now, when I talk about weekly phone call, what I mean is you need to stay in touch with them so that they keep you in mind. Taking the gifts once a month is great, but it's not going to keep you in the front of their minds. So, what I always recommend, the way that we would work, is a Monday afternoon. The biggest reason for a Monday afternoon is because they have a catch-up Monday morning meeting after the weekend. So maybe any properties, any open viewings that have happened at the weekend may not have had much interest. That means they're discussing that property on a Monday morning, which means on a Monday afternoon, most agents, proactive agents, will then be thinking, what can we do to sell this property that had no interest over the weekend? So these are the properties that they're going to be motivated. These are the properties where sellers want buyers, and these are the ones that the agents are going to tell you about in order to try and conjure up a deal somewhere or other. Now, once you've established this routine, again, exactly the same as the gifts. What they'll do is they'll be expecting that phone call on a Monday afternoon, do it around about the same time, and then they'll be thinking about you, and when a property struggles, they'll be thinking of you first. And that is the most important part of the weekly phone call, the monthly gift giving, and it's getting them to remember you for the right reasons, not just because you're phoning out going, are there any deals yet? Are there any deals yet? Are there any deals yet? You want to be in their minds positively, not as an annoyance. And then finally, step 5, what we're going to have to do in order to get the most out of the relationships with the agents, they need to fully understand what you are looking for. Now, in order for them to fully understand, quite often you're going to need to educate them on this, and you need to be specific in order for them to be able to send you the right deals. Otherwise, you just get added onto a mailing list and you get sent a load of rubbish, and you eventually delete it and you don't get anywhere. So what we always do is we're very specific. We do not ask to go on mailing lists. We ask for them to send specific deals relating to the specific criteria that we have. And then, of course, if you're going into stuff that's more creative, such as lease options, rent to rents, then you're going to need to spend even more time explaining how it works and explain the benefits both to them as the agent, but also to their client, the property owner, whether that's a landlord, a seller. But the real key there is the benefits both to the seller, but really for the agent as well, explaining that they're going to get their fee for less work, all that sort of thing. So those are the 5 steps. And by following these 5 steps, you'll gradually build really effective relationships with estate agents and letting agents. It applies to both. You'll soon start to benefit from those relationships, and they'll start to contact you about property deals, and you will get on their list of people to call. Now, as a free resource, as always, we like to give away stuff for free. So to further help you build the better relationship with estate agents, make sure you download our free Working with Agents cheat sheet. And this can be found at www.goliathsourcingacademy.com/ upgrade01. So that's www.goliathsourcingacademy.com/upgrade01. And for more property deal sourcing strategies, tactics, and tips, listen to the Goliath Sourcing Academy podcast at goliathsourcingacademy.com. So that's www.goliathsourcingacademy.com. Happy sourcing!